Hello and welcome back to Life Blowout Prevention Project. My name is Ania Grimone, I'm your host. And what we do here at Life Blowout Prevention is we deconstruct problems to their very origins, and we figure out what we can do at the very beginning so that everything that follows changes, and that way we get to eliminate a lot of stress, drama, pain, and suffering from our lives. And today I want to talk to you about stress specifically. Like all of that we do is aimed at eliminating and limiting stress, but I want to talk to you about stress specifically today because there are so many different ways and techniques and strategies that we are constantly given to reduce stress, and yet we are constantly stressed. So why is it that all of that stress reduction and stress elimination does not work long term? I think what's important to notice is that we are talking very often about stress as if it was just one thing. But the truth is that there are so many different kinds of stress that we put in this one bag, and we apply one strategy to them as if it was all the same, but it isn't. Let's talk about stress in very sort of basic way. So stress, how we experience stress, is physical. So when we are stressed for whatever reason, whatever things are going on in our lives, we experience stress. It could be fatigue that we experience it at. It could be tightness in the muscles. It could be anxiety. It could be sleep issues. It could be food cravings. It could be aches and pains, headaches, allergies, all kinds of different things that can result in from stress that we experience physically. So then what we do is we go to strategies that will deal and help us eliminate these particular symptoms. So we can't sleep, so that we do sleep meditation and we take melatonin. We can't, we have aches and pains, so we're going to pop a Tylenol or Advil or go get a massage. And where these things make us feel temporarily better, so we feel like we are doing something proactive to manage stress, in fact, what we're doing is just treading water, eliminating symptoms, which is not unlike popping a Tylenol for a headache. If you have an acute headache, that's probably okay. But if you have a chronic headache, wouldn't you want to figure out why you're having headaches to begin with? Because taking a Tylenol or Advil every time you have a headache is not going to make them go away. It's not going to fix anything. And moreover, it can actually mask what the real reason behind it is, and something that you really should be paying attention to. So let's look at the cause of the stress. And when you have physical symptoms, you can use physical strategies to help alleviate these symptoms. You always want to kind of go back down the line and say, what is stressing me out? Why is my shoulders tight? I'm having maybe a conflict with a coworker. Well, why am I having a conflict? What's going on in there? How am I contributing to this conflict? What can I do to eliminate this conflict? How can I start conversations? What is it that I'm missing? What's information? What are the assumptions I'm making? There's a lot of things that you can do to get to the source of stress and then address it at the behavioral level and then deal with the physical manifestations of it. So in that sense, all the strategies that we are taught are very much valid and very much applicable, providing you still search for the origin of why you're having the stress response and why you're having the physical symptoms. But there's one kind of stress for which no amount of melatonin, exercise, good eating, sleep, and all of these other strategies is going to make any difference. And that is emotional stress. When we live in conflict with our values, when we keep our voice inside and don't speak our truth, when we don't pursue our dreams, when we don't do what our heart is screaming at us to do, that creates stress. That creates a tension in a system because there is something you need to be doing, but you are not doing it. You could be trying to distract yourself, saying this is selfish. You may have beliefs that trap you in this particular version of reality. You may have rules that may be imposed upon you by your family, by your friends, by the culture you live in, by your religion, by a particular company's corporate culture, but there is something that's trapping the inner voice, the inner truth inside you. And that is a pernicious, pervasive, subtle killer and poisonous stress that no amount of eating, sleeping, and exercise is going to eliminate. And we often don't pay attention to it. We again focus on the outcome. You have this inner angst and you have stomach problems, so you will go to doctors and GI specialists and an acupuncturist and an herbalist, and you'll do all kinds of different stuff, and you spend hundreds of dollars on supplements to deal with your gut issues. But we don't often realize that the gut issue is really maybe a nagging pain and conflict about a less than ideal relationship that you're in, or you have a dream of putting yourself out there somehow in the world and you don't, or maybe you feel disrespected and you feel not confident enough, not safe enough to assert yourself and assert your boundaries. These little zappers will suck your vital force, your energy force like a vampire, and it won't leave a mark. Except that you will constantly feel in a state of arousal, of fight and flight, or freeze response, and you will always try to deal and manage the physical response, but it will never help unless and until you address it at the origin. So my invitation for you this week is look at your stressors. Look at what is my physical response, but why? Where is it coming from? Am I overworked? I'm exhausted because I have too much stuff to do? Well, yeah, you can clear your calendar. But my deeper question would be, why are you putting so much stuff in the calendar? Do you have a belief that unless you do everything and give all of yourself, that you're somehow not enough? If the answer is no, great. That it just may be a matter of mismanaging your schedule. At which point, put less on your schedule. Go back to one of my videos in which I talk that everything always takes longer than you think. Adjust it at that level, at which point the physical response will go away because you will not be exhausting your body quite so much. But if in the process of sort of reverse engineering and looking for the origins of stress and asking yourself questions, why am I feeling this way? What is the belief? What must I believe to be stressed by this situation in this particular way? It may point you to something that is much, much more subtle and yet powerfully affecting everything you do and how you feel physically and what you have available to you in terms of resources in every aspect of your life. So that's my invitation. Examine your stress with a loop. Look at the origins and then address it at the beginning, and then see what happens after. If you have any questions, if you have no idea how to start, or you get stuck in any point, please reach out to me. I am happy to help. Ask me any questions. Share this information. Subscribe. It is so important for us because the first step to change and healing comes from awareness. The moment we become aware of something that needs to change, we can change it. If we don't know that it needs to change, nothing's ever going to shift. So, share, subscribe, and tune in for the next episode of Life Blow Up Prevention Project. This is Ania Grimone. I'll see you next time.